was just saying, like, but you talked about some of the things that, like, you going through, right?
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily anything for me. Life is, like, good with my fam, but, like, my mother, she struggled with addiction, gambling, drinking, and she just went through another episode and, like, a ton of debt. And we just worked on a plan a couple years ago to get her out. And so for me, mentally, it's just been, like, taxing because, right, like, everything else around, work is good, life is good, but it's just those things like that. And, man, it's been like this my whole life.
Really?
Right? You know,
With her,
you know, dealing with, you know, her struggles.
Yeah.
And, like, how do I talk to my family, my wife, and moving in the fitness and, you know, just trying to be better, optimizing, you know, what I'm doing, and how do I just get, you know, better internally.
Yeah.
And the first thing for me was just like my weight. I was just like, I'm at 300 pounds. I was like, I can't keep doing this. And so that's why I've started coming out. I've always come out here, but now the piece
More
of it has been the consistency
Yeah.
and the nutrition, man.
Yeah.
I started fasting, reading more about,
Woo.
you know, went 7 days, whatever, and then
Yeah.
nothing's worked. Started fasting and not eating, more fruit.
Yeah.
Man, it's been crazy. So now I'm at like 250, and now I'm just trying to get to like 235 is the next one, and
Yeah.
you know, so.
Levels, brother. It's
Yeah.
levels. Like, honestly, that's what kind of brought me out here. I was full on dad bod for a while.
Yeah.
And
Didn't want that either.
you didn't want that. I didn't want it.
Don't want it,
But
yeah.
but the funny thing about it, you know, when I was talking about looking at myself in the mirror, I was lying to myself in the mirror. And then I had a moment with my ex and my stepdaughter, and they looked at me. They didn't even have to say a word. They just looked at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I can't do that no more. And so the pandemic came around, and I was like, okay, man, yeah, the pandemic, the world is falling apart. I don't know if I may have a job or anything of the sort, but maybe this might help me start a process that I was finding hard to step into.
Yeah.
And that was really it. And something you just said that I just want to speak on. So I used to work as a flight attendant. I actually just recently retired.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we always said was, put the mask on you first and then put it on the other.
Yeah.
Because you can't save nobody if you dead.
Man.
And so when in regards to your mom, just take the actions that you need to take. Be the example that she needs to follow.
Yeah.
And she'll follow.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if I always believed that, but I just kind of had that moment just recently with my stepdad. For the first time, actually a week ago on Tuesday, I jumped out of the plane for the first time.
Oh wow.
Just cause.
Yeah.
And it wasn't necessarily, I hadn't done it before because I was scared of heights or jumping. You know what I was scared of?
Yeah.
That I didn't have enough. I was scarcity. I had a scarcity mindset, and I still do at times.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, let me just try this. And my stepfather, who we used to have a weird relationship, he saw it, and at first he was like, and then next he was like, man, you can attain anything you want to. He told me the sky's the limit. He was like, the next time I'm here, could you take me skydiving? And it was just for me taking the action, not caring what anyone else thought, just putting the oxygen mask on myself first,
Yeah.
and then putting it on, and allow them to figure it out by my example.
Yeah.
So that's I think that's what you're doing right now is not only having the effect on you, but it's going to have a ripple effect on your mom in time. I really truly believe it.
And I'm hoping, man, because I've tried to, all the things that try to externally,
Yeah.
and it's just like, man,
Yeah, man,
control
working.
what you can control,
Yeah.
and not letting you, because normally I would kind of do, you know, and it's just like, oh man, we gotta stay the course, and
Yeah.
but yeah, man, it's,
Yeah.
life is good, but
Life
you
is
know, you
good.
go through those
But
things,
you have those moments.
right?
But the opposite of it too is, I tell people life ain't happening to you.
Yeah.
It's actually happening for you.
Yeah.
And when you look at it for those things that is happening for you, then it almost simplifies. Like to me, it almost slows life down. It's kind of a crazy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Cool.
Well, yeah, no, I appreciate you stopping me, man. Because
Yeah.
it's like I never want to like bother people, but I've always thought in my head, man, it's just like, because you're always just looking for people that look like you, that are doing things that you don't normally see.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I appreciate
Yeah.
you reaching out, man.
Yeah. That's weird. I'll tell you this honestly. I was weird. I was scared to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I talked to everybody, but I
Yeah.
was scared to talk to you. And you know, I said hi for the first time when we were running by.
Yeah.
And then I was just running. I was like, man, he out here getting the work in. And I turned around and I saw you had that Go One More hat on. I said, oh yeah, that's the sign for me to talk to. And that's why I started talking to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.